policeman who stands there, and he says to me, "You can't go in." I say, "Why not? Can't you read?" I look up, and there's a sign. It says, "Jews and dogs are forbidden to enter." I'm 10 years old. Why am I being locked out? Because I'm a Jew. The idea that I was a Jew suddenly took on a different meaning. Up to that point, that's just one of the other people who happened to have another religion. And slowly, step by step, things got worse. It got around end of November of 1939, and one day my father tells me that the sheepskin jacket I've been wearing to keep me warm I can no longer wear. In fact, I can't even own it. I have to deliver it to the police department. Why? This new government has decided that fur clothing is a luxury. And Jews are not allowed to own or wear any item which smacked of luxury. And so I, a 10-year-old, have to take my jacket and deliver it to the police department. My mother's earring, because they were gold, had to be delivered to the police department. But they were luxuries. And I told you about my nanny, a wonderful person. I happened to have been a Christian, which, from many perspectives, was wonderful. Why? Because I would get presents for the Jewish holidays, like Hanukkah. But I would always get presents for Christmas too. Then you understand why I say life was beautiful, right? But by the end of 1939, it was forbidden for a non-Jewish person, non-Jewish woman in particular, to work for a Jewish family. So by the end of 1939, I couldn't go to a park, I couldn't wear a jacket, and I lost my nanny. My friend from birth, the person who I depended on for everything, including protection from anybody, including being yelled at by my father, would make sure that even when my father would say, "You can't do this," she would say, "Don't yell at the child. He's just a baby." Because I was 7 years old and 8 years old. So I had the shield. Suddenly the shield. This person who protected me from any time I caused or got into trouble, would get me out of trouble, is gone. So you can imagine my 1939, my 10th year, was not the happiest of all times. And so it continues. Suddenly I can't go out at night. I'm not allowed to be outside the moment it gets dark. Not because I was grounded, because neither could my father, nor my mother, my grandfather, or anybody else. No Jew was allowed to be outside at night. Another harassing moment or detail. The Jew could not shop except between 3 and 4 in the afternoon. So suddenly, if at 10 o'clock in the morning you needed a bottle of milk and you were a Jew, you couldn't buy it. Even if you walked into the store, they would not serve you. Now, these are not deadly things, they're just part of separating. Part of telling the Jewish population, you have no rights. We can do whatever we want. We can pass any legislation we want, and you will have to abide by it. It's a form of persecution. And then we are told that in order to appear in public, namely outside of our home, we have to be identified as Jews. Which really meant that I and every other Jewish person had to wear a yellow star. So that if anybody saw you on the street, he didn't have to bother looking too far or in too great a detail. He just simply looked and says, there goes the Jew. In fact, my identity as a person was taken away. I was no longer Irving Roth, a particular person with a name and a face. I was just one of those people. But the last blow of this harassment came the following September 1940. I get up in the morning, first week in September, like every other child in the Northern Hemisphere, to begin school. Like you guys did very few days ago, right? So I get up in the morning, I get dressed, get as far as the gate of the school, and at the gate stands the principal, who looks at me and says, Roth, you can't go in. We don't allow Jews in our school anymore. We don't want you in our school. All my friends from my class go in, but they're not Jewish. My teacher goes in, she's not Jewish. You know, they didn't even look at me. As if I didn't exist. Well, that afternoon I decided, though I didn't go to school, I'll go and play soccer. After all, you may think I'm bragging. I was a star. I get to the field and the coach tells me I can no longer play because they don't want any Jews on their team. Mind you, that wasn't even the law. But hatred and persecution penetrated their souls and their minds. My neighbors, my friends, began to shun me. My little friend, who I used to walk to school back and forth, wouldn't even look at me. Her father told her, don't associate with her. We don't want to not be known as Jew lovers. Now, of course, those are the things that were happening to me. Well, let me relate to you what happened to adults. The adults had their own problems. For instance, Jews working for the government were all fired. Which means that if you were a postal clerk and a Jew, you were fired. If you were a teacher, you were fired. My mother's cousin was the director of Social Security. That, my friends, is a big-time job. This is a major office, one of the 3 or 4 offices, major offices in the whole country. And he was the director. He was a Jew, so he was fired. His identity was involved in his position. He was the director. And suddenly he was nothing. This piece of humiliation totally destroyed him. In fact, he could not go on living. He committed suicide. So attorneys who are Jewish cannot work. Jewish doctors lose privileges in hospitals. And then the last economic blow. Jews are no longer allowed to own a business.